Okay, we're going to get started, and we may have some students joining us shortly. And if you do, that's great. And if you don't, that's fine, because some of you will be watching this as a recording. I'm so happy to welcome you here. My name is Amy, and I'm with the Illinois Association for College Admission Counseling. And I'm facilitating tonight, which means I'm not doing too much because I am just here to push some slides, but I'm really happy to welcome you here. I want to just hit some ground rules / housekeeping. If anyone has questions, you're going to click the Q&A button at the top to type your questions to the presenter. Your camera and microphone are off, so we can't hear you, we can't see you. And so that's the only way you can communicate with us. You can sign up for more sessions by going to IACAC.org, and the recordings will also be available there as well. So tell your friends and spread the word. They can get a lot of great information in a pretty short period of time. So I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to hand this on over to Andrew and let you take it away.
Great, thank you very much. So let's do the screen share thing here. There we go. So my name is Andrew Lowy. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions at Webster University, and going to walk you through some of the slides that that we're doing here to give you an overview of what Webster is all about, and give you a sense of the university and what's offered, and hopefully give you some good information there. So let's go over here. Okay. So first of all, we are located in Webster Groves, Missouri, which is a residential suburb of St. Louis. So if you're familiar with the St. Louis area at all, it's in the southwest part of the area near Kirkwood, if you're familiar with that. It's a residential suburb. So the location of the campus itself is just off of Interstate 44, for those of you, again, who might be familiar with it. We're a smaller university, about 2,800 full-time students. They come from 46 states and 30 countries from around the world. Definitely a smaller university. This is not a large university situation. In fact, most of our classes are capped at 25. We don't have any large lecture halls. Couldn't have a lecture hall class even if we wanted to. Everything is done on a smaller scale. Have about 100 different academic majors, and those are broken up amongst 5 different schools and colleges within Webster, and I'll get into that a little bit more just so you can have a better understanding of that. We also offer significant leadership development opportunities, which is really nice for those who want to develop their leadership skills. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then also some incredible study abroad opportunities. They do, Webster does a really incredible job with the opportunities for study abroad. So if there's anybody that wants to make that a significant part of their college experience, Webster does a really good job with that. So basically, let's start out with some admissions information. We are on rolling admissions, which just simply means we process the applications as they come in. So our preferred application deadline is January 1st, but really you can apply at any time and have your application processed there. We are a test optional admissions policy. We will ask you when at the point of application whether or not you would like us to use your test scores, and you tell us at that point if you want us to use your ACT or SAT scores or not. And it's important to note that whatever option you choose, you do have to stay with that option. You cannot go back and change it or change your mind or everything like that. Once you submit your application, whatever option you selected for the test option, we have to stick with. But overall, I would classify Webster as a moderately selective school. We're not highly selective, but we're not open door either. We're somewhere in between, and you can see the statistics there that are going to give you an idea for what the admissions, the selectivity data is in terms of the middle 50% for GPA and ACT and the SAT scores there. So, and the overall acceptance rate to Webster is about 78% if you're looking to kind of get that statistic and understand what our overall acceptance rate is. If you are a fine arts applicant, there is a secondary process that you have to go through. So our fine arts applicants would be the areas of art, dance, music, and theater. And for those, you apply and get admitted academically, but then there is the second step for specific admission into the dance program or into the art program or into the music program. So that is a two-step process there. So be aware of that. And then our freshman class each year usually ends up being between 450 and 500 students. So what about our application evaluation? So we require an application for admission, and I didn't put on here, but we're also, we have our own application that's on our website, but then we also accept the common application, and we are a coalition application of school as well. So you have Common App, Coalition App, or Webster's own app if you want to apply that way. So at a minimum, we do need the application or admission to high school transcript. We also have a small personal statement that we do require. It's 200 words or less regarding your academic goals. It's possible we could ask for a letter of recommendation, but for sure we'll need the high school transcript, and then we do need the personal statement regarding your academic goals. So, and as I think probably a lot of you know, and most colleges operate this way, the transcript is the most important element. So that's of course what we're going to put the most weight on. That gives us a lot of information in terms of what you've done over 4 years, and patterns and subject areas that a student might be stronger in. So by all means, the transcript is the most important. So, and then as I mentioned about the fine arts, they are admitted academically first, and then you complete the audition or portfolio review. A little bit of a note to that, we've had to change it up a little bit with COVID, with the musical theater and acting majors. Actually, for that one, we do have you go through a pre-screen requirement. Those of you going into musical theater or acting probably familiar with a pre-screen process. So we actually do prefer to have you go through the pre-screen process initially, and then invite you to apply if you're asked to do a full audition. So, but again, we can answer those questions regarding that and offer any additional insight. And of course, if you do have any unique or unusual circumstances, those can always, be submitted as a supplementary piece of information to the application to kind of let us know. It's always helpful to the admissions committee whenever you can give us information that we're not going to get anywhere else. Anytime you can lend explanation to what we're seeing on a transcript, or anything else that's part of your admissions file, is really helpful to us. So keep that in mind as you're thinking about this process. So the academic programs, like I said, we're divided into 5 colleges and schools. I know for some that's kind of a little bit of a hard concept, because you think, well, isn't Webster a college to begin with, or it's a school to begin with? And yes, the easiest way to describe it is this is how we organize ourselves academically. So we are a university. Within Webster University, we have 5 academic colleges and schools. We have the College of Arts and Sciences, and that's what you would think of as the traditional liberal arts. That's where the science program is. That's where our English program is. That's where the history program, the psychology program, the sociology program, those are in the College of Arts and Sciences. Then we have our College of Fine Arts, which I've talked about. We also have the School of Communications, and I'm going to highlight that in a little bit here, but that's a very broad-based major and has everything to do with communications in terms of film and TV and radio and public relations and some other things. So that's a very large program for us as well too. We have our School of Education for those who want to go into teacher education, and then our School of Business and Technology, and that is everything from business and international business, accounting, economics, finance. Those majors are in that, as well as the technology component, which for us is computer science, cybersecurity. Our pre-engineering program is out of the School of Business and Technology, so that's where that resides. A couple hallmarks about kind of the Webster educational experience: you do get into your major right away. So we really emphasize that model for freshmen. We want you to get into your major right away. We don't want to do the situation where we just say, oh, you're a freshman, so everybody takes general classes for the first 2 years, and then you get into your major. For us, most freshmen will take half classes within their major, what they think they want to major in, and then half kind of general or core classes. And our core classes are very flexible. They're easy to satisfy. The student is in charge of how they want to satisfy those majors. So it's really easy to kind of manage that as a freshman. And I will go into a little bit further detail with that as well. And it's okay to be undecided. I can't stress that enough. I think that's probably one of the harder things about this whole process is not only are, you know, as high school seniors, not only are you being asked, you know, what are you gonna, you know, where are you gonna go to school, or how's the college application process, but they want to know, you know, what do you want to major in? And essentially what they're asking is, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? And that's a tough question a lot of times for a, you know, 16, 17, 18-year-old. You know, if you're like my teenagers, you're not quite sure what you're doing tomorrow. And here we are asking you, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? So it's okay to be undecided. About 12 to 15% of our incoming freshman class, their official major is undecided. I mean, that's the box they checked on the application, and another 12 to 15% are undecided whether they realize it or not. So don't worry about being undecided. Oftentimes it's a really good option to come in undecided. Don't let anybody tell you that, you know, you have to pick a major or it'll put you behind, because that's not necessarily true. In fact, in most cases, that's not true for a lot of majors. So don't worry if you're undecided about your major. That's totally fine, and we really enjoy students that are undecided. So I do want to highlight a few of our kind of unique majors that draw a lot of out-of-state students to Webster. First is our fine and performing arts programs, which I've talked about a little bit. You can see it's very comprehensive there in those 4 areas. In fact, in the art department, all those programs there are actual majors. So you can get a BFA, you know, in painting. You can get a BFA in illustration. You get a BFA in sculpture. There's a ceramics major. So these are very comprehensive programs. It's not just a class or 2 in those areas. You can actually emphasize and focus on those studio areas individually if you want to, with a dedicated degree in those areas. So our dance program is also very comprehensive. So it's everything from ballet, modern, and tap, and we do work in aerial. There's even classes in dance costuming and dance history. So that's a very comprehensive program. The music department, very comprehensive as well too. We're very fortunate to be in St. Louis, which is home to the St. Louis Symphony. So we will draw on that body to have private teachers teach some of our lessons, and we use them as faculty. Plus, all of our faculty are engaged professionally in the music scene throughout St. Louis and have those professional connections, which is really important. But as you can see, we have everything from composition to jazz studies to a unique program in songwriting and vocal performance, and also there's a unique program there, music direction for musical theater, for those who want to conduct a pit orchestra. If that's your career goal, we have a program in that. And then we do have our Conservatory of Theater Arts, which again has just about every major that you can imagine in theater, including a full complement of design tech classes. So we even have 2 programs within costuming, costume construction and costume design. The difference in those is exactly what you would imagine they would be. One focuses on the actual sewing skills and how the costume is made, where the other one is a little bit more design focused, although there is quite a bit of overlap in those programs. Lighting design, program and stage management, technical direction. So again, a very comprehensive Conservatory of Theater Arts that exists here at Webster. The other program I want to highlight is our School of Communications. And that's, again, we have a lot of areas that are offered in the School of Communications. So one I'll talk about here a little bit is our animation program. The nice thing about animation is that it is all kinds of it's all forms of animation, from 2D and 3D animation to feature films to experimental animation to really, you know, the highly technical aspects that can get into applications for video game design or things along those lines. And remember, a lot of these programs overlap and combine nicely with other. For instance, you'll see the advertising and marketing communications major. That program teaches our students actually how to create 30-second TV commercials, how to create radio spots, how to use social media platforms and blogs and vlogs to actually get a message out. And within those, you need animation, you need audio, you need digital media. So these all work together really nicely. We have a wonderful program in film, TV, and video production. The greatest thing about that is actually we've had our film program since like the 1980s, back when it was film, back when it was this photographic process where you had to get your film processed and developed. And if you wanted to edit your your film, you had to cut and glue it back together. So that's how long we've had this. And the benefit to that is that we have a really well-established base of graduates that are in Hollywood and that are in the filmmaking industry that will help you when it comes to, being successful in that industry upon graduation. I'm going to highlight a few of those as we get towards the end of the presentation here. Have a game and game design program, which focuses on video game design. And then you'll see the others there: photography, public relations, wonderful sound recording and engineering program. If anybody wants to go into any kind of music production or any kind of sound recording, sound reinforcement, that program is offered. And that can be anything from your traditional program that you think of, which you see the picture there where you're behind the glass actually recording somebody, but it also has application in understanding film scoring, audio for radio, audio for TV, audio for video games, theatrical applications of sound. These students take classes in ear training as well too. So that's a very comprehensive program. And then a sports communications major and a strategic communications. So again, the School of Communications is very comprehensive. And what I would emphasize in this as well too is that, again, you're going to get into your major right away. So, if you are a photography major, you're going to be, checking out camera kits and going and actually, doing these hands-on photographic projects as a freshman. Same thing with the sound recording and engineering, the audio and media. You're going to get on a board right away, not that big one right there, but a smaller board, and actually, mix some stuff together and present it in class. That'll happen as a freshman. Our film majors actually are going to check out digital cameras, shoot coverage on campus, and then come back and edit those and present those in class. So all of this happens as a freshman, because we want you to get involved in that program. So that's really what makes our School of Communications so strong there. Having said all that, I think it's important to remind everybody that the core of what we do and the base academic foundation of what we do at Webster is the liberal arts. So to me, it's really hard to have a comprehensive university without the liberal arts. So, and that glass building right there, that's our brand new science facility. It's only about 2 years old, a $50 million program, state-of-the-art science labs that houses our chemistry and biology programs, exercise science majors in there as well too. So, so the liberal arts is very, very crucial to what we do. All of our majors, regardless of what you take, all of our majors require at least some courses in the liberal arts, or what some people might refer to as the humanities there. And you can see we also have some very unique majors within that as well too, including international human rights and data analytics, computational biology. There's an international studies program as well too. So it's important to recognize that the liberal arts still makes up the foundation of what we as a university do, and our students do receive requirements that they have to take in those classes there. So that's very important. We want to make sure everybody does understand that there. One thing we also want to highlight is a school or is a program out of our School of Business, and that's options in entrepreneurship. And the reason I bring this up is because, a lot of people wonder today about, okay, I have my college degree, but now how do I go out and actually get a job, and how does that all happen? Do I just wake up one day and all of a sudden have a job in the area that I studied for? And it's not quite that easy. We maybe wish it was that easy, but we all know it's not that easy. So whenever possible, we're really going to emphasize that students take classes in entrepreneurship. That can either be a major, a minor, or a certificate program. Most of you are probably familiar with what a major or a minor is. A certificate is, the best way to describe that is sort of like a minor on steroids, okay? It's sort of like a minor, but it's more defined than a minor. A certificate, what it does is it delineates a certain amount of classes that you have to take and specific classes that you have to take. A certificate has a beginning and an end. It has classes that you have to take at the beginning. It has a capstone class that you have to take, and it has some clearly delineated requirements that you have to take to complete that certificate. So all these are options here, and entrepreneurship can apply to whatever field that you go into. Now, a lot of our fine arts and communication students really kind of latch onto that and say, yes, as an art major, as a music major, or, as a film major, it might be helpful to me to have, some entrepreneurship classes, and I would completely agree with that. However, any major, any program can benefit from classes in entrepreneurship. And you can see every organization wants its employees to think as entrepreneurs, no matter what you do, big or small, big city, small city, for-profit, nonprofit. They want you to think as entrepreneurs. What's coming next? Can you do some strategic planning? And you can see you can see some of the skills that are taught there in terms of how to market yourself, contracts, governmental regulations, risk management. So we really like this option within the George Herbert Walker School of Business and Technology, and think it's really a great opportunity there. So, so we want you to take advantage of that whenever possible. So a lot of students ask, what will I take as a freshman? And what I will tell you is, and I think I did mention this before, typically half the classes will be in your major area and the other half will be general education classes. This is really, really important to us. We do not want you to spend 2 years of taking everything but what you're interested in. We want you to get into your major right away. So that is really, really important to us, that you get into the major right away. And so that's something that regardless of your major, you're going to do that. And our global citizenship program is very flexible. When you see global citizenship program, that's our name for our general education program. So the global citizenship program, the key there is it's going to prepare you to be a global citizen, no matter what major that you're going to be, and how to understand and deal with these kind of large concepts that are going to confront you, if you will, sometime throughout your life, regardless of what you do, where you live, and what kind of industry that you're in. So that's what the Global Citizenship Program, and it's our core educational requirement there. We also require a freshman seminar class, which all freshmen have to take. We don't require placement tests at this time. We use your transcript to decide exactly what level class that you need to be in, if that's an issue. It's interesting to point out, though, for if you do have some credit that you've taken in international languages, let's say you've taken 4 years of Spanish and you want to continue that in college, well, it wouldn't make sense for us to put you in the first level of Spanish. We would put you in either the second or third level of Spanish, and then have you then if you got a B or higher in that class, we will give you credit like you would have taken the, the first class, in that. So there's a way to actually earn some free college credit through the International Languages and Cultures Department. So it's really a wonderful opportunity there that we do that. We also do accept dual enrollment in AP coursework. The dual enrollment is pretty straightforward. As long as it's a college level class and you're taking it from an accredited college and you send us a transcript with that credit on there, we will accept that credit. So that is pretty straightforward there. AP coursework, if you do dig around our website, you can find where you can see the conversion or the credits that's awarded for AP there. Some require 3, some subjects require 4, some require 5 to get credit, but we do accept that as well too. So campus housing. So this right here, this is not a, that's not a stock photo there. That really is our housing. It's very modern and comfortable. They're all suite style rooms. And what that means is for every 2 rooms, there's 1 bathroom. So it's really not, it's really, it's not this 1 bathroom at the end of the hall for, 35 or for a whole floor. The most you'll share a bathroom with is with 3 other people. They're all suite style rooms. Freshmen whose permanent address is farther than 35 miles have to live on campus for the first 2 years. The roommate assignments are done using a questionnaire. I know that's a big question that a lot of students have, and how do I choose my roommate? And I'm used to living, having my own room growing up. How does this work? The roommate assignments are done through a questionnaire, and we ask everything. We ask everything on there from, are you neat? Are you messy? To do you study with background noise? What kind of music do you listen to? Are you a morning person? Are you a night person? We even ask, how do you like the temperature in the room? Meat locker cold or, on the warm side, because that's an issue as well too. So that's how the roommates are assigned. It's a really a very detailed process there. And we do offer free laundry. So no excuse for not getting your laundry done. We have free laundry that's available to our residential students. So that's just kind of one less thing to worry about, when it comes to completing that task, which you will have to do when you live on campus. So a little bit about student life here. There's over 80 clubs and organizations on campus. Division III athletics, numerous plays, concerts, and lectures. There's always something going on at Webster, and you really should take advantage of that. Lots of recent great guests. As you can see there, Terry Crews, A.D. Bryant, B.J. Novak, Jamila Jamil, Bill Nye the Science Guy. We were scheduled to have Kenan Thompson from Saturday Night Live last April, but then COVID hit, so we're hoping to get him rescheduled. I did mention earlier about the student leadership program. That's very comprehensive for us. We actually offer classes in leadership workshops. We offer classes in leadership theory. We offer retreats. We offer workshops in leadership, so much so that if you want to get an actual certificate in leadership, that can appear on your transcript upon graduation. So we take the approach. I mean, some people think that leadership just kind of naturally happens and naturally, occurs, but there is a way where leadership can be developed, and you can take these deliberate steps in order to have your leadership skills developed. And we do offer that program for those students that are interested. And of course, St. Louis, we're 15-20 minutes from just about every attraction that you need in St. Louis. Oh, and this guy that you see right there at the bottom, that is the Gorlok. He is our mascot. I'm going to talk about him here in a little bit. We do have a full athletic program for those who want to, take advantage of that. The mascot is our Gorlok, which I'll talk about, like I said, here on the next slide. Intramural sports, we offer intramural sports regularly for non-student athletes, but if you do want to participate in that, we are a member of the St. Louis Intercollegiate Athletics Conference, NCAA Division III. In fact, one of our graduates from the baseball team is actually a starting pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays. So we're very happy for him and through the athletic program. Overall, it really adds to the entire student life experience. So what is a Gorlok? So the official kind of background on the Gorlok is that he's the paws of a speeding cheetah and the horns of a fierce buffalo and the face of a dependable Saint Bernard. And he was kind of, he exists for fair sportsmanship and a spirit of fair play. So he was actually created by the student body in the 1980s. So the story goes that when we created our athletic program, we put it out to the student body of, what kind of mascot do you want to have? And one thing Webster students really enjoy, they enjoy doing things a little bit differently. They enjoy being unique. And so they did not want to just have another run-of-the-mill mascot, so to speak. We did not want a tiger or a falcon or an eagle or a bear. We wanted to do our own thing. So somebody submitted this drawing of this furry looking creature, and then the students voted on it, and that's the one that won there. And so the only thing that's a bit of a mystery here is why the original one has that pump sprayer there. I guess it's to, knock out the opponent there is what that's used for. But that was the original drawing. You can see it's a little bit more of a modern version there to the right. And in case you're wondering, the hardest part about having a Gorlok as a mascot is the mascot outfit. You don't just order up a Gorlok costume. It has to be custom made. And so it's quite the ordeal there. But you can see that was the original, that black and white picture there, that was the original Gorlok costume back in the day. That's from the 80s. All you have to do is look at the hair to see if when that picture was. And that was in the 1980s when that was first developed. But the actual name Gorlok comes from two streets that are nearby campus. There's Gore and Lockwood, and that intersection is close to campus there. So that's how it got its name. And again, Webster students, just to be different, Gore is spelled G-O-R-E, but they dropped the E from Gore. And Lockwood, of course, is L-O-C-K-W-O-O-D, but they dropped the C from Lock. And why did they do that? Again, just because they wanted to be different. And it does get misspelled quite a bit, but that's the real spelling with the Gorlok, G-O-R-L-O-L-O-K. So that's exactly what a Gorlok is there. I did mention study abroad and what we do with that. It's a very comprehensive study abroad program. In fact, we are consistently cited as having one of the better study abroad programs in the country across all universities there. So you can see we have these international campuses. These are actually Webster International campuses. And then we also have some great partner locations as well too. We have about a third of our students, third of our undergraduate population that actually does a study abroad experience. So it's very important to us, so much so that we're going to pay for your plane ticket to go overseas. We have an entire office that's devoted to study abroad. You know, when you get into some smaller schools, sometimes it's attached to a course, or it's something a professor leads every other year, or they actually kind of hook you into, you know, a third party that sponsors study abroad and organizes study abroad programs. But these are actually our campuses. So let's say you want to go to, you know, our campus in Geneva, Switzerland. So if you go there, you're actually at Webster Geneva, okay? So you're not over there borrowing space from a Swiss college. You're not, taking a Swiss grading scale, converting it into US grading scale, and hoping you don't lose credit. You know, you're paying in dollars because you're still at Webster. You keep your financial aid and scholarships. So that's the benefit of going to Webster's international campuses. And a lot of that is true with the partner locations. It gets a little bit more, sometimes we do have to kind of check to make sure that everything transfers fine. But either way, we pay for your plane ticket, and we do have lots of options available. And even if you don't see the place on here that you want to go, we can arrange another another experience for you if that's what you want to do. We've had students that have gone to Italy. We've had students go to South Korea. We've had students go to India, so Australia. So if you don't see your location on there, my advice to you would be that the day you set foot on campus, visit the study abroad office and indicate, look, this is the kind of experience I want, and we can start piecing something together for you. So it really works well for us, and we really emphasize a study abroad experience for those that want to do it. And of course, as I mentioned, your scholarships and financial aid travel with you. The only wild card in all this is the room and board. You know, depending on where you're going, the housing is different at different locations. You do have to pay for your meals, of course. That can be different. Some places are more expensive, than others. For instance, like our Thai campus, the exchange rate and the value of the dollar there usually works pretty well in your favor. You might end up making money going to the Thai campus. But that's not the case for all of our campuses. But anyway, there are lots of options and lots of things that you can do there. So let's talk a little bit about tuition, financial aid, and scholarship. There you can see what the tuition costs are for this year. We do not charge for in-state or out-of-state tuition difference. It's the same, whether you're from Missouri, Illinois, Texas, Florida, wherever, it doesn't matter. Those students from Illinois, you will automatically get something called the Midwest Student Exchange Scholarship, and that'll be a minimum of $2,850. The only requirement there is that you live in Illinois and that you attend Webster University. The Midwest Student Exchange is a program where some Midwestern states have gotten together to encourage out-of-state enrollment. So you have that no matter what, just being from the state of Illinois. We do have academic scholarships. They start at $12,000 and they go up to $18,000. You can see the base requirement there for an academic scholarship is about a 2.8 grade point average. Then we do have some other scholarships available too. The Leadership Scholarship and the Full Tuition Chancellor Scholarships are all available as well too. The thing to keep in mind is Webster, like a lot of private schools, we do have a lot of financial aid and scholarships to give out. So you never want to rule out a school just because you think you can't afford it. I think that's probably the biggest mistake that some students make is they just kind of naturally assume that they can't afford the cost of a private school education. And it's really, you really have to kind of find out for sure. Take the necessary steps, apply, get accepted, fill out the application, see what kind of scholarship you're getting, and then make an informed decision. Just saying, well, I'm sorry, I can't afford it, we don't have $40,000, that's an uninformed decision. Go through the process and see exactly what might be available there to understand what the total cost would be. But our financial aid and scholarship program is very robust, and we really want to make it possible for students to attend Webster. So please, go through the process, complete that FAFSA form, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with, and then find out for sure exactly what your costs will be. So did want to highlight here a couple of examples, or a few examples of graduates at Webster. So one of them is Matt Allen, who's a recording engineer in Nashville. If there's any country fans out there, that's Garth Brooks that he's with. He engineered some of Garth Brooks' albums. So, he has mentioned that he got a great education at Webster, and he's able to walk in to really any studio and feel comfortable in what he's doing. And you can probably see behind him the size of that that professional console that he's on. He was able to feel comfortable, working that thing and using the software based on his education he got here at Webster. Eileen Collins was the first space shuttle commander. That really is Eileen, about 280 miles above the Earth with the Webster flag there. Not sure how she managed that. I think NASA's pretty particular about weights and what you can bring on board, but she has it there. Kimberly Stewart is a Webster graduate from a School of Communications. She's seen there with Matt Damon and two other producers from Manchester by the Sea. So she has her own production company. Leah Latham on the right there is a production supervisor at Walt Disney Studios. That really is the Oscar for Frozen that she's holding there. She just got done working on Frozen 2, which has been out. She worked on Zootopia. There's also another Webster graduate that works at Disney Studios as well too. And we have some who are Disney Imagineers who design the theme park rides. And so, so really we have several people that are working for the Walt Disney Company. Norbert Leo Butz, two-time Tony Award-winning actor. That's Alex Vietmeyer, who directs The Late Show with Seth Meyers. He was a School of Communications graduate as well. Then we have Butch Thomas, professional musician, William Broad, science writer for the New York Times, and Janae Williams, who is a producer at the local NBC affiliate there. So some really wonderful success stories I wanted to make sure that you were aware of here. So this is probably my favorite slide as I sort of wrap up here. This, I just wanted to kind of summarize and encapsulate, if you will, what a Webster student is. And so these are the words that really describe what a Webster student is. I'm not going to read them because you can kind of see them, but anybody will tell you, either a college admissions representative or a high school counselor, a college counselor will tell you that the single most important thing when it comes to choosing a college is probably fit. Are you going to be comfortable there? Are you the right distance from home? Are you going to be able to make friends? Are you going to fit in and feel comfortable where you are? And this is the kind of environment, these are the kind of students that you'll find here at Webster. So I put that up there because I just think that's a very important list for you to consider as you're looking at all your colleges. And if this sounds like you, then you should probably take a really strong look at Webster, because this is the kind of students that we are. And oh, by the way, that background there, again, that really is our dorms. That's not some posed photo or a stock photo. That really is our dorms there. So again, a very nice living situation in Webster Groves there. So, and then lastly, these are your next steps. So apply for admission. Going to webster.edu/apply. We have our own application that you can use there, or you can use the Common App or the Coalition application. We'll take either one of those. Word of mouth in the college admissions process is probably the single most important thing that you can do when it comes to learning about your school. So don't hesitate. Talk to anybody that you can that might have information about college or about Webster. Friends, relatives, neighbors, school teachers, school counselors. A lot of them are probably familiar with Webster, and if not, they're going to know people who are familiar. But that's really a good way to kind of learn about your school. So word of mouth is the single best thing that you can do. So keep doing your research there. Schedule a virtual visit or an individual visit to Webster. We think in the next couple weeks here, we're going to resume with some in-person visits. Right now, we're just doing virtual visits, but again, I think we're getting real close to starting in-person visits back up. So visit the webster.edu visit webpage and find out. And then don't forget, if you have to do a virtual visit, don't forget you can meet with faculty. You can ask to speak with specific academic areas if you want, possibly maybe an athletic coach. All of these are options here as you look to set up your virtual visit. So take full advantage of those. We do actually have a preview day coming up this weekend That's an opportunity to have a structured virtual visit day if you want to take advantage of that. So that's preview day. That's just webster.edu preview days. And then last but certainly not least here, be sure to contact us with any questions. That's why we in the admissions office are available. We're there to help you through this process, to answer any questions, to facilitate the process of enrollment at Webster. So please reach out to us with any questions that you might have there. So I'm going to check the Q&A box. I don't think there's any questions in there. We're going to check that real quick. And I'm not seeing any there, but otherwise I think that's about it for all of the information there. So it's been great having you on here. And I think we have the facilitator that's going to jump back in. We're going to have just a couple of things, some housekeeping things as we close up the session here.
You got it. I'm going to take over the screen share here really quick. Thanks so much. That was really great. I know I learned a lot, and I didn't know about Webster, but I know even more now. So thank you so much. Just a quick reminder for those who attend, there's a quick survey you'll be sent. You can sign up for more sessions. They are continuing now for the next couple of weeks. And these recordings will be available. So whether you're here live or you're watching the recording, there'll be lots of opportunities for you to continue seeing these great informational recordings. And it was really great. Andrew, thank you so much. It was super informative.
Excellent. Excellent. Have a good evening, everybody.
All right. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.